Well, hello and welcome to the Seven Figure Builder Show. My name is Julie Baranek, host, and I am here with my friend Lenka Lutonska. Hi, Lenka.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to just dive in with you, but take us back to you do incredible work with businesses, but take us back to that moment where everything really shifted for you and you really saw things in a different light.
Yes, when the business energetics was born, it came out of the struggle as once failed entrepreneur for me. As in, I've always had a sense I want not much, like most of us. I want to make good money by doing what I love and making a difference. That was important to me. And so my first business as a coach was pretty successful, and I managed to bring it to the ground in a space of few months by partnering, by entering very unhealthy business partnership with a corporate psychopath. So when I lost it all, and at the time I had a young family, two children, it created absolute earthquake in my life, in my identity, in my psychology. And so what followed was just resolution. I'm just going to rebuild my business. I've done it once. I was successful. I can do it again. Pulled my sleeves up. Let's go. Except I couldn't. No matter how hard I worked, even though I had a much more business experience as the first time around, it just wasn't happening. I was working 15 hours, 18 hours, talking on stages, taking any networking and speaking opportunity I could. Um, what I had was lack.
Mhm.
I was living almost near the poverty line.
Mhm.
Not in my stomach every day waking up. Am I going to be able to pay bills this month or cook a family dinner? And so I knew something was terribly wrong. And I started to so doubt myself. What is wrong with me? I mean, I have experience. I have definitely some form of talent in me. What is wrong with me? Maybe there's definitely something wrong with me. And as I was searching for these answers, I refused to give up on the dream. In one moment, a different question popped to my mind. And the question went, Lenka, if you didn't give a damn what people thought of you,
Mhm.
and if you didn't give a damn whether you succeed or not, what would you do? And as I started to contemplate on these questions, in what felt like the next millisecond, I had all my answers I was searching for years in there. And it's difficult to explain it succinctly, but in that millisecond, it was almost like a divine download
Mhm.
or awareness, where the message was first and foremost, come out of your spiritual closet. Because behind the closed doors, I was deep in books and therapies to really help myself after that horrific experience of losing the business and being manipulated. So I had to really, really go search for that stillness in his spirit, spirituality. But I would never, ever talk about spirituality or energy or anything like that in business circles because I wanted to be taken seriously. I
Mhm.
needed to be taken, professional as a professional and so forth. So I knew that message was come out from the spiritual closet and connect spirituality and business, feminine energy and masculine energy, the structure and intuition. So that's the moment where the business energetics, as it is called now, was born. And that was approximately a decade ago. I also, in the same millisecond, received clarity on my first offering, which was a
Mhm.
6 months mastermind, and it was spiritual business mastermind. So reluctantly, with fear, with courage, I went into the next entrepreneurial event and offered this mastermind. And I'll never forget how women's eyes were lighting up. And and I filled that mastermind within 2 weeks, which at the time was a huge win
Wow.
for me. And from there, I decided I'm going to trust this. I'm going to really lean into energetics. I'm going to learn to trust my intuition, my soul, and let that lead the strategy of my business. So I turned it around what normally we do, and we're taught strategy is everything. Do this and you'll get X amount of results. Put this amount of hours in it and you'll get this amount of results. But if it worked, all of us would be rich and successful and billionaires. But we know that that's underlying, who we are, our personal energy, how connected we are. That is what is communicating everything to clients. With words and strategies, we can communicate some things. With energy, we communicate everything. So I decided to trust it. I developed for myself a four-step framework that helped me daily, which I'm very happy to share today, if that's useful. That literally took me from that near poverty line and almost having nothing to finally, literally making millions on repeat by making a difference, which was always important to me. So I experienced the rapid growth and the work of business energetics spread across 180 countries. So I'm here and everywhere to be a voice of this approach to business, because I believe it's not just amazing way to grow business with more ease, but also new paradigm for how business and success and wealth is meant to be approached with soul, not just the left brain.
Yeah. So you've completely flipped business on its head, right? So often we have, like you mentioned, we have a goal, we have financial goals, we have what we want to accomplish, and then everything else follows behind it. Where it sounds like in your journey, the blocker was really a blocker between your authentic self and truly what you believe was possible, right? That was where the disconnect was. And when you were able to work through that and just really focus on, okay, who am I? What am I put on this planet to do? The rest really flowed from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's still very much thought in marketplace everywhere. We're being taught, find a gap, fill the gap in the market, create offerings according to what will people buy. And so for do this strategy, do this, do that. So in other words, we're being taught to fit ourselves
Right.
in a boxes of other people's expectations.
Hmm.
But that's not how true what I call limitless businesses are created. I mean, Steve Jobs would never
Hmm.
go and ask, "Oh, what's the next product you would like? Something bigger than PC and or smaller than PC and bigger than iPhone?" Nobody asked for it, but he went in within the creative consciousness, and so every entrepreneur and every leader
Hmm.
who is brave enough to go fully creative and therefore flip that equation, go for reactivity to creativity, and from do this, do that, over relying on action, on being fully authentic and let the soul lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like that has resonated tremendously with women and entrepreneurs and business owners around the world because it was something that they were missing that they didn't even realize that they needed until
Absolutely.
they heard, right, what you had to say. And I'd love to hear more about that framework. Like, can you walk us through? So for the
Oh,
people that are listening, they're like, I need more of this.
oh, definitely. This is so simple, such a simple framework, but I used it religiously from that moment
Mhm.
every single day. It's a four-step framework, which I called RISE sequence, and each letter stands for part of it. And it takes 10 minutes or so, or longer if you want. But what it does, this process, is helping us to expand and heighten our intuitive intelligence, which is essentially connection with our most authentic self, or some people might call it higher self, soul, and so forth. But this is the way how to tap into the strategies and ideas, money making ideas, difference making ideas, profit making ideas that logical brain never could even scratch the surface. So, yes, I call it RISE sequence, and what it stands for. Ideally, we do it early in the morning, but whenever is good enough. So R stands for release. In other words, release any negativity from our energetic field. What I mean by that is, of course, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, we experience all sorts of emotions, we make all sorts of assumptions, decisions along the way. And those emotions that are not fully processed, that are, let's say, suppressed as we're being taught, oh, we need to be we've got lots of responsibilities, job to do. I don't have time to feel. I'm not a crybaby. I've got to be a strong woman. I'm a leader. Let me pull up my sleeves and be the strong one. But if we suppress and not fully release and work through any emotion, it gets literally frozen in our energetic field. And in neurology, it creates like a filtering system through which we perceive things, and then we make leadership and executive decisions. So release is simply about willingly and consciously bringing any negative energy up, any fears, any doubts, any worries, any stress. Yes, first thing in the morning. What is in my thinking, in my mind, in my energy that is worrying me, that is stressing me, anything that is there, I'm bringing it up. And at the same time, we're releasing. So we're acknowledging that whatever it might be, and we're asking for specificity. What specifically makes me feel worried? What specifically makes me feel fearful or any stressed, any negative emotion? What is it that I'm telling myself? So let's say I don't have enough time. There's too much to do. I mean, we may not have enough resources, whatever it might be, to acknowledge that it's not necessarily truth, it's simply energy, one mindset, one perspective. And I can, as I release it and become aware of it, I can in any way simply willingly release it, maybe through breath. I see you, I acknowledge you, I release you, or in any other way, imagine it as a balloon or whatever it might be popping up. But it's simply put, we're consciously bringing any negative ways of thinking, emotions, and so forth, and releasing it from our energy field. So typically 3 minutes is enough. Somebody that is full of negative emotion initially may take longer if you have time. It's valuable time because it creates that static that people are then asking, then why is it that I always make the wrong decision? And I don't know what, well, this is why.
Yeah.
Unprocessed energies and emotions. So that's the first 3 minutes are release. The next 3 minutes would be I or identify. Identify with what? Identify with the highest possible version of successful self. So this is where we're going to imagine the most successful outcome and the version of me that I can tap as a leader, as entrepreneur, woman, and so forth. And I'm going to imagine it as I'm her now. I'm going to bring that energy into my body now, not in the future, because that's what we keep doing, automatically projecting ourselves onto future. No, I am that now. What would it be like if I was that woman today now? And in whatever way serves us, writing about it, imagine it, but we want to feel that energy in the body here and now. Typically 2-3 minutes is enough to stay there. Now, what's happening between these steps 1 and 2, release and identify, is we're priming our intuition, our intuitive intelligence, because our intuitive intelligence is working all the time. We're being internally guided all the time. But here is one principle that is worthwhile to remember for all of us, entrepreneurs and leaders, and that is that our intuitive guidance always matches our energy.
Mm.
Meaning, if we have got lots of unprocessed emotions, or we are in the energy of, this is not working, how do I fix it? Or I'm desperate, or I'm stuck, how do I? Well, we might get ideas how to change it, but those ideas, that intuitive guidance will always match our frequency, our energy. So the implementations of those ideas will lead to more desperation, more need, more like, and so forth. So this is why it's very, very important to prime our intuitive intelligence. And then the third step is again for 3 minutes or so, which is as rise, still and listen, meaning for 3 minutes, close your eyes and simply ask this question. How does this version of me, this most successful version of me, wants to express herself or himself through me right now, today? How does this version? So this is about not what I need to do to make this happen, because that's the question that human mind identity, left brain wants to ask. What do I need to do to make it happen? This is who do I want to become? How does this version of me wants to express herself or himself through me? And this can lead to these are the ideas. If we get them, these are the most potent ideas. Sometimes it's about very much related to business, sometimes not. But it's these ideas is what is helping us to truly embody and become the version of ourselves that creates a lot more impact, enjoys more freedom, and so forth and so forth. So E is for embody, rise, the last one, and it's simply to take one, at least one of these, one, two, maybe three of these ideas, and actually put them in action. So implement them. This is how we embody that energy of that more successful self. This is how we make stuff happen in quotation marks. That's our co-creative part. So this is the right sequence: release, identify with the highest version of ourselves, sit still and listen, and embody, implement what is being given to us. So it's this simple framework, right sequence, that personally helped me to truly turn that tough period into wildly successful business. And it helps many entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So hopefully it will be useful for uh, Julie's listeners as well.
Oh, 100%. I absolutely love that. And I can see and feel how like if you don't do this, right, you end up carrying everything with you all day long. So even that first step, so often we don't want to even acknowledge that negativity inside. It's like, oh, just push that down. We don't have to think about that. And we just push forward. And when you do that, you're carrying all that luggage with you that you can never really truly feel clear in your mind of like what you're doing because you always have that noise in the back of your head, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Very simple little audit. How am I feeling? Is there anything that creates that static? Is super
Hmm.
useful, and
Yeah.
releasing it consciously. Yes.
And
Yes.
before we hopped online, we were talking briefly about the masculine versus the feminine. And I would love if you could just touch on that because I can see with your framework, like so often we're programmed to just do, and just do that next thing. And I'm very logical in my own brain. So, mathematical, like you do enough of this, you're going to get enough of that. But this is a
Yes.
completely different approach. So could you talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely. Yes. So we all have masculine and feminine energy within ourselves. And in business, what is the healthiest is the combination of empowered
Hmm.
feminine and masculine is a braiding, just like, when baby is created through merging
Right.
empowered feminine and masculine energy. But yes, we're very much trained to do it through masculine energy only, and it often distorted masculine, meaning disempowered masculine, as in I need to prove my worth, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. That's one, if you like, shadow expression of masculine, or overworking. That this is how many high flying women and entrepreneurs are creating, proving, and going really high, but at a huge cost, huge personal cost. Feminine energy also has got empowered and shadow side. So of course the empowered side is that deep creativity that, again, doesn't matter on a gender, but we tap into the deep creativity, like, this is what I choose, this is what I'll create, nurturing, and so forth and so forth. So there's a lot of really, it's very potent, very creative energy. However, uh, I also work with lots of clients who came out burned out from the distorted masculine energy, and then they learn perhaps about manifestation and, I don't know, working with the universe, which is, it's all great, and because it opens up that creativity, that feminine energy. So it's all great. However, along the way, they reject all the masculine energy.
Mm.
So now they now become almost like victim to our own feminine energy. And, oh, I'll wait until everything aligns, so waiting, for instance, or, is distorted or disempowered feminine energy, passivity, being a victim of, and so forth. So in business energetics, we look at both, and we look at where we are perhaps have got some distorted patterns of masculine and feminine energy, where there is a little bit of opportunity for us to change, to shift these things, so that we can really both utilize letting feminine lead. I choose, I'm pregnant, let's say, I nurture my ideas, and let the masculine create the structures around it, and use the masculine qualities such as initiation and selling and marketing and so forth, to bring the all those powerful feminine and creative ideas into the world. That's how the biggest impact is being worked, and how extraordinary growth in business can be created with much less effort than before. Not without effort, but much less effort than
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, and I love the blend of them both, right? Like it's not the typical genders that we think about, right? It's not that type of
No, no, no.
masculine or feminine. It's, and I know for me at home, like in my business, I tend to function much more in my masculine side
Yeah.
of those energetics. And then with my husband, I'm much more feminine, right?
Yes,
After my
absolutely.
business day, it's like you got to shift into, okay, I'm much more, letting him lead and all of those things. So I love that blend that they work together really well instead of just disregarding or discarding half of, who we are, right? And both pieces can be so powerful.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's about learning to trust the feminine.
Mhm.
Because I know, for instance, I was once in a situation when I didn't follow my own advice. I wrote a book, Energetic Selling and Marketing, and wanted to give it the most justice to put it in the world. So I hired the world-renowned advertising agency and paid 5 figures every month to
Mm.
put it out there. Oh boy, it wasn't working. We were losing 5 figures plus
Wow.
figures in fees every month, and for more than 3 months, almost 4 months, I was asking myself, what do we need to do to fix this?
Right.
Let's use the masculine burn. Let's fix this. Let's optimize it. Every week I would be on a team meeting with my team. How
Yeah.
do we fix this? So that's not, and then it occurred to me after months, like, my goodness, let the feminine lead. This is
Yeah.
not, I'm not going to fix this in this same consciousness. So I went into 3 days of very intense imagination.
Mhm.
What does the book wants from me? How would it be if it was incredibly successful? And so forth and so forth. And so from there, I got one single idea. From there, within those few days, I got one single idea. That idea, within 1 week, the book, advertising and funnels became profitable, and that's how it became the bestseller. It went like wildfire after that.
Yeah.
uh, but that was example how, instead of masculine, what do I need to do, optimize, change to fix it? I went into feminine imagination, to
Right.
working from the right energy and so forth. Intuitive intelligence, primed intuitive intelligence, how it can offer much more powerful solutions. So let that lead, and then let the masculine follow. It's very, very powerful in the business.
Yeah. And I want to dive a little deeper into that because you've mentioned a couple times now work in your own examples, which are incredibly powerful and relatable to all of us. Business has cycles, and very often we go into this cycle of working from lack, right? Like as you mentioned with your ad agency or earlier on in your stories with your business. But can you talk a little bit about that? When we get into that cycle, obviously we need something to kind of kick us in the butt and pull us out of it. But what happens when we're working from lack? Like what happens in our business?
Well, we know what happens, more lag and more frustration. But
Yeah.
to get on the other side, it developing trust, from my experience, trust towards deeper trust towards positive outcome, myself, and therefore other people and structures. Like many entrepreneurs, even successful seven-figure entrepreneurs, we used to work in like I've got to be on for my entire business to be on.
Mhm.
And it creates that cyclic, like I'm when I'm on, my revenues are up, it's
Mhm.
amazing feast, then famine because delivery, because I'm tired, I need to inter and so
Right.
forth. Yes, very, very common. So what helped personally me and many of my clients to get through this stage and scale up, but in a way that it's more smooth, it's never a straight line,
Mhm.
is is definitely developing deeper trust towards myself through others and developing therefore the structures around it.
Right.
So hiring team, I know that for a while, even though I was hiring team, oh, was I micromanaging because I was thinking I know the best, or I need to check, or then they were supposed to. But that's on me. The team is always reflection of the leader.
Mhm.
So one of my flexes, or if you like, the opportunities, how I strengthened more feminine energy here is I trust my decisions, hiring decisions, or my team hiring decisions. And know that I'm hiring geniuses in their own right. So literally, really, really stepping back.
Mhm.
Oh boy, what a difference did it make? Because everyone would now work really as a team and build the architecture of business energetics and the business rather than all being on me. So this is personally what one of the things that helped me rather than working from that fist
Mhm.
and leg is to get into peace. I can't say it. It's like it's peace, and it's yes. There's still some. It's never the same months, but it's overall growth and peace because everything is working, even if Lenka is taken off and
Yeah.
so forth. Yes. Does that help? Does that answer question a little bit?
It does. And
Yeah.
with that, are there any like red flags that you would say that very often when we are in that lack or that feast or famine, we don't recognize it. It's just
Yes.
we're frantic. Like we know we're frantic. We know we need to get out of this, but we don't know how. So is
That's the
there
big one.
something where you would say, hey, if you're if you're
Yes.
seeing this or feeling this, go ahead.
Yes, that's the biggest one. It's essentially that we are so busy. We're so busy. And sometimes even proud busy. Like
Yeah.
I'm so busy, and I'm so hardworking and I'm so determined. And we identify with it as a badge of honor. Dear women, no. Enough, enough. That's a
Yeah.
those are the biggest red flag because what it's telling me is that we have got opportunities to optimize a little bit of those feminine, masculine energy and look at those energetic patterns we're probably proving. We're probably over giving, because out of but I need to make sure that my clients will buy or make sure that the clients will get the results, pushing them up their hill, saving the clients rather than empowering clients. So we probably are running some or plenty of these patterns that is about us and us as a leaders, but actually affect the business in a way that we are busy. We can't, afford to take a month off or 3 months off if we want to. So this
Yeah.
would be the biggest one. This would be the biggest red flag, the
Nice.
busyness. Yes,
Yeah, and
yes,
it's very easy to fall into that, certainly. And
yes.
how do you help people with this? Like when people are hearing you saying, "I totally identify with this," but how do you work with them?
Yes. So we have got Business Energetics Academy and Business Energetics Collective. Collective is a membership-based heartbeat of business energetics. We've got thousands of members there that is will do monthly activation. So we'll activate the next. It's around the pillars of business energetics. So energetics of money, energetics of self-leadership, time, and so forth and so forth. In academy, it's about the full embodiment and real optimization. It's both education and mentorship by me, accredited by Coaching Association of Coaching. So it's a it's a very rich body of deeply transformative work.
Mhm.
So this is where I welcome leaders. There are three different pathways or programs, if you like, that they can choose from depending on where they're in the business and what they need. But this is where we work for a year on personal change, transformation, embodiment, and then uh, translating all of these changes and work the energy into all areas of our business, from branding, marketing, selling, serving, and so forth. Yes.
I love that. And where can people find you online for that?
businessenergetics.com or lenkalutonska.com.
Perfect. Awesome. And I'm curious, you've accomplished so much in your career with your business, personally, professionally, but how do you define success? What does that look like for you?
To me, success is when you have got freedom to do what you love with whoever you love, whenever you love. And I never said in this way, but isn't that uh, truly a success? Freedom to do whatever I love, whenever I love, with whoever I love. I'm sure I wasn't the first who said that, but
Mhm.
that's what it's the choice, isn't it? It's not that I need to, that I must, that I'm pressured to. Is the choice and that good feeling in the heart that doing by what I love, it makes a difference. To me, that's a success.
I
Yes.
love that. And I'm curious, if you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you tell them?
I would say, my dear one, whenever you have a problem, or you have a desire that you want to achieve, stop asking yourself, what do I need to do to make this happen? Or what do I need to do to fix this problem? And start asking yourself, who do I need to become to live this? And who do I need to become to shift this or change this? Because it truly is about our energy, our identity, about who we are. It starts there, not in the action.
That's awesome. I love that. Awesome. Well, and again, can you tell us where people can find you online?
Absolutely. So businessenergetics.com or lenkalutonska.com, or on YouTube. If you Google or YouTube my name, Lenka Lutonska, there's plenty of videos that dive deeper into business energetics. It's oftentimes a wonderful introduction into the world of business energetics.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Lenka, for being on today. This was amazingly informational and educational and just empowering. So I really, really appreciate it.
A huge, huge pleasure. Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you for your work. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you found value in this episode, please do share it. That's how people find us. And you can find me at sevenfigurebuilder.com, and I will see you on the next episode.